Hi, my name is Jeff Halldorson, and this is the next installment of Skeletons Don't Sleep Beyond Survival podcast that we put together dealing with living beyond sexual assault, survival, no longer just being a survivor of sexual assault, but actually going beyond and moving forward. It's a process that's going to take a long time, and it's taken me a long time to get there. Everybody comes in different circles, and different circles end up in different places. For me, as a child, I was assaulted for years, and I acted out in very angry and destructive ways that, in reflection just seemed like telltale signs that something was wrong, but no one paid attention to it. It was very easy to focus on, whether I'm ADD, ADHD, give him Ritalin, put a stereotypical label on him and call it good. At the age of 14, I decided to say something. Life gets, even at that age, it's starting to weigh on you, and you're starting to realize that things aren't the way they're supposed to be. And I grew up in a very, relatively prestigious area. I don't think I even realized people lived in apartments until I was around 15 years old. And what it came down to is, no matter how much I went out of my way, I still ended up in drug rehabs, because that was a good place to bury it. I as an individual was very outspoken about what happened to me, and it got me in some really bad places. I didn't want to necessarily hide the truth, but the truth definitely wanted to stay hidden, and my parents both did a good job of putting me places where it would be hidden, and it still happens today. People want to bury things, and it's difficult for a lot of people, I think, because they're afraid to say this happened, because they're afraid of the consequences, and the consequences aren't always going to be good. They're not going to be in your favor. For me, it wasn't at 14. It took me a long time, and it took me saying it over and over and over again, and it gets pretty redundant, and then people get, and then certain people stop listening because they stop wanting to hear it, and the compassion level goes down. And when that goes down, you get an angry teenager, and an angry teenager on your hands is a loaded gun in some cases. In an ideal situation, I would have, come out at 14 and told them what happened, and if I had been believed, then I think that I could have gone down the road of recovering from what was going on at the time, instead of carrying it for so many years and letting it manifest into something else and build and grow. If instead of putting me in some place, because I was a troubled kid, I had problems, I had issues, and a lot of them stemmed from my adoption, and a lot of them stemmed from my, the abuse of my adoptive father. And if somebody had listened to me when I was crying for help, then at least I would have been able to get the help I needed for that specific situation at hand, instead of trying to cure me of being a drug addict when I hadn't even smoked pot. Having not dealt with it then and there like I should have, or wasn't handled the way it should have been handled, left me to deal with a lot of things as an adult that I may not necessarily have to have dealt with. The anger, the frustration, the insecurity, and the destructive behavior. But it's a process. It's not gonna be fixed tomorrow. I'm still going through it, and but I think that I've gotten past that part, and we'll continue down the road we're going down, because it's a much more positive road with a lot better outcome, and we'll touch on those as we go through this process, and however many more of these we do and how many more questions we get. So, stay in touch.